forever chemicals, hell with that. And now,
Yeah.
you know, we got proprietary agents in our air, in our water, in our food. And then there's enough gusto in some people to say, we need to raise taxes. How can we create more revenue to feed this little monster we got on our hands? And the
That's
government
right.
is the only entity, that can default in a way that it does and not go to jail.
That's so true.
You know,
They do it all the time.
if you or I wrote bad checks over $20, you know, 3 consecutive checks on purpose after being warned,
Yeah.
we'd go to jail.
So true. Well, let's talk about those checks. So let's get back to the hemp side on that. You don't know if you're going to grow this year. So what's going to be your indicator? Are you looking for market change on that to put plants in the ground, or are you just looking at the regulations? What's going to be your guiding light in this process?
Well, number one, I want to be able to cash out on last year.
Okay.
Because if it
Are you
don't
still
make money,
holding
it
on
don't
to
make
product?
sense. Yeah, unfortunately, there is product that I'm still holding on to. The partner that grew underneath my license, he wants to go the oil route, but there's a bottleneck as far as qualified processors go.
There sure is.
And yeah, and I know like COAs are some people's, you know, crutch in a conversation, but who's the most reputable provider of COAs? You know, it's
Yeah,
like
we
an
don't have them.
opinion.
It
It's
is
not
an
fact
opinion.
yet.
Correct. There
So
are some that have the DEA certification, you know, and are really, you know, ISO accredited labs, and those are the ones that people should be utilizing, not the you know, hey, we were up today and we can give you results
right.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
What
we
do you
just got this
need?
new equipment. Right. So, I mean, and when I was a realtor and a mortgage broker, you know, I saw how flexible numbers were.
Right.
And, you know, that for a lot of markets, you know, that's the bottom line is real estate. But, you know, the bottom line really is Uncle Sam's got your real estate, you know, whether you like it or not. I got a land usage department, building inspector, NRCS, Department of Transportation, the highway, county, all those people, you know, they take ownership of my property before I do.
Yeah, that's
So,
so true.
you know, you can only do so much. As a farmer, they tried to get on me and tell me that my prime agricultural property was not being used for agricultural purposes, even though I demonstrated that I planted thousands of strawberries and, you know, hundreds of hemp plants, you know, year after year, you know. So those people don't have, you know, sustainable agricultural studies on their mind.
So
And
that's
neither
something you
does
want to focus
the
on for the
farmer
industry?
next to me sharing the property line of 40 acres that's all Roundup ready. So
So
he doesn't need a permit, but I do,
how can we fix
you know.
that? You know, how can we encourage the research that needs to be done that way? What can we do to help solve the issue? What can our listeners do?
Right. Well, I mean, like I say, grow local. Don't rely on some corporation to give you what's good, because it's already coming down on us, you know, what they think is
Right.
good for us. Forever chemicals. Come on. So, yeah, I mean, kinder, gentler modes of communication, that might work, you know. Otherwise, you know, you got to get more involved. But you got to get more involved one way or another if you care about it.
100%.
Otherwise,
And that's the key, the call to action.
You know, that it's like the entire VA system. If veterans don't use the resources available, they dry up. And, you know, everybody's got their own brand of being patriotic and whatnot. But like I say, the Hemp for Victory program, that was a nationwide thing. I don't know why our government wouldn't consider that a very crucial component of long-term survivability on this planet when given alternatives of petroleum products that will, you know, contaminate aquifers or whatever else, you know. I mean, hemp's
Absolutely.
good for thousands of uses, right?
That's so
But it
true.
doesn't do us a lick. It doesn't do us a lick of good if we're not, in part of that equation.
That's so true. I'm
So
Joshua
people
Littrell.
should be.
We're joined today by Russ Burry. Russ, you are a grower in Wisconsin. We just got a couple minutes left on this,
Yeah.
and wanted to really focus on what you're saying there is that call to action. We have to do that. So you manage the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers Facebook page. And what are some of the trend analysis you're seeing there? What are people talking about on that Facebook page?
Well, they're talking about relationships.
Okay.
People try to be service providers, as go-betweens. Some people feel that that's creating a bottleneck in the industry, where a broker might pick up product for $5 a pound and sell it for 10. How much work was actually put in there, ethically, flipping off the backs of farmers like that. Not everybody's keen to it, especially farmers or their families. So you got that. You got people with very new backgrounds to the industry,
Right.
strutting around like little peacocks. And then you got the OGs sitting in the background, just like a high school kid watching a toddler play with a basketball.
Yeah. That's a great analogy.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's really cute, kid. But
so Russ, if
happening.
our listeners want to get a hold of you, how can they find more information about you, or look up the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers page?
Well, they can go on Facebook to the Wisconsin Hemp Farmers page.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm available, kinda. Right now, I'm like I say, in St. Lucie. I just rented myself a Hertz minivan.
Nice.
I'm going to be touring around Florida and, do some fishing, go see the Coral Castle. It's like the 8th man-made wonder.
Man, that's going to be a great time. How long are you staying down south?
Long enough.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, I can't say thank you enough.
Hey, you only go halfway into the woods. The rest of the way you're coming out. And, so in closing, I'd like to say taxation without representation is theft.
Love it. Russ Burry, we really appreciate you taking the time today, brother. And thank you for your service to this country and joining us here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today. I hope you have safe travels and catch a lot of fish too, man.
Hey, thank you. And, God bless America. She needs all the help she can get.
Absolutely. I'm Joshua Littrell, and thank you so much for joining us today on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast. We are signing off. Y'all take care.
Heidi ho. Are we good?
Stand by just a moment. He'll close us out.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, he's the producer on the other line. Awesome, man. That was a good job. You did a good job. Thanks so much.
All right. I try to bring the flavor.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well,
so
when I get up to Wisconsin,
yeah,
I'll have to come by and visit you if you're up there. Spend a little time with you.
I'll still be up there. I got a VA loan. I don't got a choice.
There you go. That's exactly right.
FBI comes and checks up on me every now and then.
Hey, speaking of that, when you're traveling, do you do the traveling veteran service if you have to go to an appointment?
Fuck, dude. I mean, I moved from Upper Michigan to Dora County 7 years ago.
Okay.
And they tried to give me a hard time because I didn't have W-2s. And they're like, yeah, we can't get you. I was trying to get in Green Bay. And they're like, yeah, we need your W-2s. And if you don't got W-2s, we're not going to let you in. It's like, wow. Really? And I'm okay with going without service because I had a couple of CIA spooks reveal themselves to me.
Wow.
At the VA. Yeah, they're total dicks, man. We had one veteran brother. He was part of this substance abuse group, drinkers, drugs, whatever, and he was Native American. He was born before 1953. Before 1953, you could take ownership of a Native American like a piece of livestock.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Federally. So he was sold into bondage at a very young age, and he was transplanted to the ghettos of Detroit. And the guys in Detroit, they're like, oh, he's got nice long hair. Let's put him in dresses, and then we'll gang rape him.
Oh, my God.
So they did that for a few years. Well, most of his childhood, I believe. They'd put him in dresses, and then, they're poking around with their junk in his hind end. He can't hold his shit in, so then he shit, and then they would rub his face in his own shit.
Oh, my God, that's so horrible.
But anyway, it gets better. He lives through it. Lives. He went to Vietnam, got PTSD from being in theater, for a couple of years.
Sure.
And, man, he got back to Detroit, and he found one of those guys that used to rape him as a kid. He knocked on the guy's door, and the guy answered. He shot out both of his kneecaps.
Wow.
Ta-da! He felt better, not 100%, but he felt a little bit better. So he told, the group this, and it was being recorded, and we were told, no, this is a confidential group. We're not going to let anybody know about what goes on in here. He lost veterans benefits because of it.
Wow, that is so nuts.
He had pre-existing PTSD because he was taken from his family by the federal government and sold. And they said, well, Vietnam was rough, but, you had pre-existing PTSD. So we're going to have to cut your benefits.